ਰਖਿਆ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਲਈ ਧਿਆਏ ਅੰਗਦ ਗੁਰੂ ਤਿਮਰਦਾਸ ਰਾਮਦਾਸੇ ਹੋਈ ਸਹਾਈ। ਅਰਜਨ ਹਰ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਨਾਉ ਸਿਮਰੋ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਹਰਿ ਰਾਏ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਹਰਿ ਕ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਨ ਧਿਆਈ ਹੈ ਜਿਸ ਡਿਠੈ ਸਭ ਦੁਖ ਜਾਏ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਸਿਮਰਿਐ ਕਰ ਨਾਉ ਨਿਦਾਵੇ ਧਾਏ। ਦਸਵੇਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਪੰਥ ਦੇ ਵਾਲੇ ਸਭ ਥਾਈਂ ਹੋ ਜੀ ਸਹਾਏ। ਦਸਾਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਜੋਤ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਪਾਠ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਦੀਦਾਰ ਦਾ ਧਿਆਨ ਧਰ ਕੇ ਬੋਲਣਾ ਜੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ। ਇਹ ਨਿਮਾਣਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਮਾਣ ਨਿਤਾਣਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਤਾਣ ਕਾਰਨ ਕਰਨ ਪਿਤਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਅਪਾਰ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕੀਤੀ। ਆਪ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਮਿਹਰ ਦਾ ਸਦਕਾ ਸਾਈਬਰ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੁੜ ਕੇ ਦਾਤਾਰ ਪਿਤਾ ਜੀ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਕਰਨ ਲੱਗੇ ਹਾਂ। ਸਭ ਦੇ ਸਿਰ ਤੇ ਮਿਹਰ ਭਰਿਆ ਹੱਥ ਰੱਖ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਦੀ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਆਪ ਕਰਾਉਣੀ। ਅੱਖਰ ਵਾਧਾ ਘਾਟਾ ਭੁੱਲ ਚੁੱਕ ਮਾਫ ਕਰਨੀ। ਸਰਬੱਤ ਦੇ ਕਾਰਜ ਰਾਸ ਕਰਨੇ ਸਹੀ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਮਿਲਣੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਚਿਤਾਵੇ। ਨਾਨਕ ਨਾਮ
ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ
ਤੇਰੇ
ਭਾਣੇ ਸਰਬੱਤ ਦਾ ਭਲਾ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। Waheguਰੂ Ji Khalsa, Waheguਰੂ Ji Fateh. Welcome to everybody. Ravinder Singh here, connecting with you from Columbus to another session. So as I mentioned a little earlier, I couldn't make it the last time. So the instruction I have from Ravinder Singh is that we are going to now concentrate on the 31st, right? 31st Pauri.
Asan Loy.
We kind of know that from Pauri 28 onwards, the sort of framework I think has been a discussion around the lifestyle of the yogis, the Nath yogis, because we see that there is a lot of symbolism that is attached to them, namely things like munda, kinta, choli, danda. We know that these are all symbols that relate to the Nath yogis. So the 31st Pauri, I suppose, is sort of concluding that particular discussion. So what we will do is, and it's a fairly short one, so what I'll do then is just take the lead and read it out aloud, and then we will start the discussion, if that's okay with everybody. Theek hai ji?
Hanji.
Okay, then it goes thus. आसन लोय लोय पंडार जो कुछ पाया सो एका वार कर कर वेखै सिरजनहार नानक सच्चे की साची कार आदेश तिसै आदेश आद अनील अनाद अनाहत जुग जुग एको वेस. So as I said, it is kind of short, and I would like somebody to take the lead in at least opening up this particular passage. Dilpreet Singh ji, do you want to go first on this?
If you can give me 2 minutes, I'm just setting up.
Okay, you're setting up. Theek hai. Okay, Jasbir Kaur Bhai ji, do you want to take a couple of minutes and give us sort of a thematic view of what's going on here?
Yeah, Guru Pasha is talking about this Asan Loy Loy Pandar. Asan means that seat of the Almighty God which is within us, that Antaratma. So Guru Pasha is saying where there is a divine light. Loy means Loy Loy. Loy means Jyot. So where there is a Jyot, there is a Asan of that Almighty God, ya Lord, ya Ikunkar. So where there is a divine light, the Creator is seated over there. And his Pandar is also there. So as in Pauri 29, there was Pugat Gyan, Daya Pandaran. So that Gyan Rupi Pojan, that wisdom is the food of the soul. So one food is our physical body's food, but this Guru Pasha is talking about which Pandar? The food of the soul. So Asan, Loy Loy. Asan means tikya hoya, stable. So that Ram is inside us. So in this, from this particular line, I'm getting this.
Anji, would you mind going on and giving us the next few lines as well? जो किछ पाया सो एक वार.
Yeah, in the same way, Guru Pasha is saying ki whatever is like the food of each and every person, everywhere is, I mean, jo kuch paya. So whatever he puts, puts once and for all. So this food is even the outer food and the inner.
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੀ ਪੌੜੀ ਕਰ ਦਿਓ.
Okay. Kar kar vikhe sirjanhar. Sirjanhar, creator. Creator creates his creation and looks after it. So this car is that hukam wali car is going on. Creator is creating his creation and looking after his creation by giving them the spiritual food as well as the physical body's food. So Nanak Sachi ki Sachi Kar. Nanak Pasha is saying that us Sachi ki, us Sache Kartar di, truth creator di, sare kam Sache ne. His all work are pure. Pullan and as in one of in the quote Guru Pasha says, Pullan andar sabko a pull Guru Kartar. Everyone makes mistakes, but only the Guru and the Creator are infallible. So, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਕੋਈ ਭੁੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ. So, ਆਦੇਸ਼ ਤਿਸੇ ਆਦੇਸ਼ ऐसे Creator ਅੱਗੇ Guru Pasha is saying, I am surrendering. आदेश means मेरा surrender है, मेरी नमस्कार है, surrender है उस true Creator. So, these two lines we already did in 28, 29 and 30. Hades, Tise Hades, Ad, Anil, Anad, Anahat, Jug Jug Eko means that Almighty God, O Sacha Creator, Ad to hai, Anil hai, O indefinite hai, O da koi start nahi hai, and O Anhat hai, O Abhinashi hai. Jug Jug Eko means always stays in one state.
Thank you. Let me go to Dr. I.J. Singh.
I think he got disconnected.
Oh, he did. Okay. Virji Gurjeet Singh, if he's on, let me go to him then. There's a couple of things that I picked up on what Benji just said, and one was the meaning of the word loy, which she's translated as light. And I'm wondering if you could shed some light on that light, because there are traditional meanings in the there is a meaning that I came across which says loy means no, not don't need, and loy also means lok, which is all of creation. So with that in mind, would you mind sort of giving us your thoughts?
हाँ जी, वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह. अच्छा जी, ये आंटी जी has told right. इधर पदच्छेद जो है ना, you can't read it loy loy. You have to read आसन loy, then you pause loy पंडार. जो ब्रह्म है, loy means जोत basically or जीव. So wherever we call lok, lok means all lok have a loy in them. So the outer is a jyot and there is a inside in the jyot, which is where asan is. The Brahm is in sitting in the jyot. It's mentioned in Sukhmani Sahib. Man mein hai aap. So the loy is man, and within the man is he himself. The Brahm is in the man, so asan loy, and the pandar is there as well. Yeah, Pandar is Gyan Pandar here. Asan loy, loy Pandar, jo kich paya so ekavar. So whatever knowledge is there, jo bhi Brahm Gyan ide andar hai, ਉਹ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਇੱਕੇ ਵਾਰ ਦੇ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹਦਾ ਜਨਮ ਹੁੰਦਾ. ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਬੜੀ ਅੱਛੀ ਕਰੀ ਸੀ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਫਿਊ ਵੀਕਸ ਐਗੋ ਕਿ ਜਿੰਨੀ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਚਿੰਗਾਰੀ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਚਾਹੇ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਵਧਾ ਲਵੇ ਚਾਹੇ ਇਹ ਘਟਾ ਲਵੇ। ਕਰਮੀ ਆਪੋ ਆਪਣੀ ਕੇ ਨੇੜੇ ਕੇ ਦੂਰ, ਚਾਹੇ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਨੇੜੇ ਆ ਜਾਵੇ ਮਨ ਚਿੱਤ ਚਾਹੇ ਦੂਰ ਚਲੇ ਜਾਵੇ। This is all his own effort. ਇਹਦੇ ਤੇ there is no restriction, there is an incentive, but there is no compulsion. ਸੋ ਆਸਣ ਲੋਏ ਲੋਏ ਭੰਡਾਰ ਜੋ ਕਿਛ ਪਾਇਆ ਸੋ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਜੋ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਗਿਆਨ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਜੀਵ ਨੂੰ ਪਰਮੇਸ਼ਰ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਦੇਤਾ, from there he has to go either way whatever he likes. ਕਰ ਕਰ ਵੇਖੇ ਸਿਰਜਣਹਾਰ। ਹੁਣ ਪਰਮੇਸ਼ਰ ਜੋ ਸਿਰਜਣਹਾਰ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਇਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਆਈ he keeps an eye which way he goes। ਜੇ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਗਿਆਨ ਵਧਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਅੱਛੀ ਜੂਨ ਮਿਲੇਗੀ, ਕਰਮੀ ਆਪੋ ਆਪਣੀ ਕੇ ਨੇੜੇ ਫਿਰ ਇਹ ਨੇੜੇ ਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ। ਜੇ ਗਿਆਨ ਇਹਦਾ ਘਟ ਰਿਹਾ ਫਿਰ ਇਹ ਦੂਰ ਚਲੇ ਜਾਂਦਾ। ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਕਹਿਣ ਵਾਲਾ ਭੰਡਾਰੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਆਏ ਸੀ ਨਾ, ਇੱਕ ਸੰਸਾਰੀ ਇੱਕ ਭੰਡਾਰੀ। ਭੰਡਾਰੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਲਾਏ ਦੀਵਾਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਰਿਹਾ। ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਹਰਵਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਨੇ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਸੀ ਭੰਡਾਰੀ ਕਿਉਂ ਆਇਆ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ। ਸੋ ਹੇਅਰ ਇਜ਼ ਐਨ ਆਂਸਰ ਕਿ ਭੰਡਾਰੀ ਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਦੱਸਣਾ, ਭੰਡਾਰੀ ਕੋਲੇ ਗਿਆਨ ਹੈ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਭੰਡਾਰੀ ਤਾਂ ਈਸ਼ਵਰ ਨਾਲ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ। That's this statement come from ਭੰਡਾਰੀ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਭੰਡਾਰ ਹੈ ਪਰ ਉਹ ਭੰਡਾਰ ਵਧਾਉਣਾ ਪਏਗਾ। I'll just mention one ਸ਼ਬਦ from ਰਾਗ ਧਨਾਸਰੀ, ਤੀਸਰੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਦਾ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਹੈ। ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਹਰ ਨਾਮ ਧਨ ਨਿਰਮਲ ਅਤ ਅਪਾਰਾ ਤੇ ਗੁਰ ਕੈ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਭਰੇ ਭੰਡਾਰਾ। ਜਿਹੜਾ ਗੁਰ ਕਾ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਇਸ ਭੰਡਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਹੋਰ ਭਰ ਦਿੰਦਾ। and then it is simple, ਜੇ ਭਰ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਮੁਕਤ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ, ਸੱਚਖੰਡ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ, ਅਦਰਵਾਈਜ਼ ਇਹਦੀ ਰੀਇਨਕਾਰਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਚਾਲੂ ਰਹੇਗੀ। ਤੇ the rest is similar। ਕਰ ਕਰ ਵੇਖੇ ਸਿਰਜਣਹਾਰ ਨਾਨਕ ਸਾਚੇ ਕੀ ਸਾਚੀ ਕਾਰ। ਇਹ ਸਾਚਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਸੱਚੇ ਕੀ ਸਾਚੀ ਕਾਰ ਹੈ, ਮਾਇਆ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਾਰ ਉਹ ਸਾਚੀ ਕਰਦਾ। This is what his main job is ਕਿ ਉਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਤੇ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਦਾ। ਪ੍ਰਮੋਸ਼ਨ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਅੱਗੇ ਦੇ ਦਿੰਦਾ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਡਿਮੋਸ਼ਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਕੇ ਭੇਜ ਦਿੰਦਾ। That's his car। ਆਦ ਨੀਲ ਅਨਾਦ ਅਨਾਹਰ, ਆਦ ਤੋਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹਦਾ ਆਦ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਦ ਹੈ ਉਹਦਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਆਦ ਅੱਗੇ ਹੈ, ਅਨਾਦ ਹੈ ਉਹ। ਆਦ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਦ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਉਹ ਅਨਾਦ ਹੁੰਦਾ। ਤੇ ਕਿੰਨਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਹੁਕਮ ਹੈ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ, ਅਨੀਲ ਹੈ। ਫਿਰ ਉਹ ਜੋਤ ਸਰੂਪ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਨਾਹਤ ਹੈਗਾ ਤੇ ਜੁਗ ਜੁਗ ਵੇਸ ਹੁਕਮ ਦਾ ਇਹੀ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਇਹੀ ਰਹੇਗਾ। So that's what I have to say for this speech.
Thank you very much. I do realize that we are all sort of, I think, comfortable with Punjabi, but let us try and stick to English as far as possible, because part of our goal is to create an archive that non-Punjabi speaking Sikhs can also access. So let me sort of put this in as simple a way that I've understood this so far from what I've picked up. It seems to suggest that the Creator is here seated in his creation, and the knowledge is basically embedded in that creation. And with that said, I'm going to reach out to Dr. Ajay Singh, who I see has reappeared on my screen. Haji, Dr. Ajay Singh, would you like to further the discussion? Okay, let me go to Dilpreet Singh. Are you ready?
Hanji Jivirji, thank you. So I have a little bit a different perspective here. I think it is well said. What the way I see this body is, it is the continuation of the previous body. That eka mai jugt vyai tin chele parwan, ik sansari, ik pandari, ik lai diwan. So there was a concept or a belief at that time that we have three, Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh and Shiv or Mahesh, who are responsible for, one is responsible for food, one is responsible for destroying, and so on so forth. So I feel that this is a continuation of that. Now Guruji is saying that Asan Loe Loe Pandar, that in every world or universe there is a presence of the creator, and he is the ultimate source and the creator in all those worlds which we can think of, or the universe. And then when he's saying that jo kich paya so ekavar, this is a very touching thing to me, that this tells us that the creator has created this, or this has been created only once, and he is not making any change to it or any alterations to it, that the self creativity power has been provided in this creation, so this creation is creating itself. So there is no need for him to do a day to day governance, there is no need for him to do the micromanagement, there is no need for him to do the adjustment. So there is a creativity power has been provided, and he has, this has been created with such a thing that it is self creating and self sustaining itself. So karkar vekhe sirjanhar, that is the, again it is showing that it is self sustaining, and it is helping it, the some things are getting created and some things get extant and so on so forth. So it is self supported, self created. And then Nanak sache ki sachi kar, that is that it is such a truth that there is it again says that this is such a good creation, or it is self creative and self sustained. So it, that is the ultimate truth. That is how I see it, that it is that in the our first Pauri also, where we say that Karta Purakh Nirpao Nirvair, so it is extension of that thought. And then it is, again it is saying that nobody can make a change to it, even the creator does not need to do micromanagement, and the self creativity is in it. Like if I take one example, there is a seed, so that seed has a power to create hundreds of seeds like that, and so on so forth. So the similar creativity is there, and then they watch what they create. So that is how I see this body in that context.
Hanji, thank you ji. Dr. Ajit Singh, are you there? So Harvinder, he's on the screen but he's not responding.
Let me try to call him, I think.
Okay, so let me go up to Paranjit Singh Virji in the meantime.
Hanji,
Hanji, let's get your perspective. I hope that you've had occasion to hear the last speaker and the one before that.
Yes, I did, and I enjoyed listening to Penji and Gurjiji and Dalpirji. I was thinking about that. As I told you earlier, I pose questions to myself and then seek out responses from here. In the very first line, Asana Loy Loy Pandar, two things comes to my mind which I have to ponder over. What Pandar Guru Sahib is talking about, and whose asana he is talking about. Is he talking about himself, or he is talking the presence of that Pandar, however we choose to define it? So that's the first question which comes to my mind, and my feeling is when I go to third line, Karkar Vekhe. So that means he is not talking about himself. He is talking about the asana of that Pandar. And what Pandar to me is the whole nature, the hukam, and the naam, which dictates the working of the nature. And what I understand is that there are hundreds and thousands patala agagas gallo ye guru samne. There are so many universes, so many worlds. Each of those universes and worlds have its unique nature, creation, which is created by Kalpurak, unique naam and unique hukam, which dictates the workings of those in those different worlds. And Guru Sahib is talking about all this is present there in different universes. And it was created instantaneously in all those creations. And any evolution which is taking place, that is according to the hukam, according to the naam. That is my understanding of when I talk about Pandar. My understanding is Pandar, or unless somebody I will look forward to hearing. What do we mean by Pandar? It's not the gold, it's not the jewel we are talking about. We are talking about all this creation. And then going further, the line Asan Loile Pandar, Jokich Paya, so Ekavar, Karkar Veke, Sirjanhar. So he has created and he is a spectator at arm's length. He is not interfering. He has created Nam and he has created Hum and let the world flow. And he's just watching and smiling outside. It's just a game he is watching over. That is, and then further than Karkar Veke Sirjanhar, Nanak Sache Ki Sachi Kar. And as that Akal Purk is real, this is not an illusion. This is also a reality. And that is what I understand is people might in Hindu mythology they talk, is it all illusion? No, Guru Sahib said no. It is a reality, it is a truth. It is as true as what we talk about his existence. Baki ne tin laina, which I think everybody has done the same thing. So I'll pause here.
Thank you, Ji. Is Dr. Ajay Singh on? He's not. Okay. So thank you for the first round. There's one thing that Veerji just mentioned that caught my attention. So let me go through the second round with this question. Pandit Singh Veerji used the word spectator when he described Karkar Vekhe. Now, to me, a spectator implies a separation between the spectator and the spectacle. Now, would that be, my sense is that within this framework, there really is no difference between the creator and creation. So with that, I want to just toss that out there for a discussion. So Jasveer Kaur Bhenji, do you want to take that question and run with it?
Just a line came to in my mind that aap karta, aap bhugta, aap karan kiya. So this shows that he is the creator and he's not only the spectator, he is within his creation and with his car everything is going on, with his hukam everything is going on. So I think like
Okay, Hanji, Dilpreet Singh Ji?
Nobody used it, so I don't know what to do.
I'm sorry.
I think Dr. Ajay Singh is back.
Are you there now, Dr. Singh?
You hear me now?
Now I do.
Okay.
I caught you talking to yourself.
Thank you.
Hanji, so have you been able to follow the discussion so far?
Not a, I could hear you, but I couldn't say anything, so I don't know where the discussion
No,
is
but
now.
did you hear the discussion? Are you following the discussion?
I will try to do so now.
No. So far you haven't.
Please continue. So far, I'm absolutely confused, but I guess we are now we have a dialogue, so I should be able to hear it and I should be able to say
Okay,
something.
so let me reach out to you. Do you want to give us your sense of what this Pauri is saying?
Not at this
Asan Loy Pandar.
No, I think what I heard I agree with. So let me listen a little more.
Well, okay.
I'm absolutely hanging out, lost at the moment.
Okay.
Okay.
So I was trying to reach out to Dilpreet. So Dilpreet, I wanted your take on this. It seems to me that maybe using the word witness might be perhaps more appropriate, that he's witness to his own creation in which he sits. What's your take on this?
Right. See, again, I will say that it is the continuation of the previous line, which is touching me more in this body, that jo kich paya so eka var, that the creator has created this creation only once and he is not manipulating or changing this. And then Karkar Vekhe Sirjanhar, that now that tells again, it enforces the same thing, that he is a spectator now, he is witnessing it, but He is
So what you're
not.
suggesting is that he is sitting separate from his creation. Then he's out of the. He's not.
Can I add something here?
Let Dilpreet finish, and then
Okay.
I'll come back to you.
Right. See, again, my take on this is that creator has given the self creativity power, has that jo kich paya so eka var is the self creativity power which is provided by him or which exists here, and then that self creativity is creating things and is looking after its creativity.
So
So it is that the self
how do
creativity power which he has given, or which is Hanji.
I want to, so because when you mention it this way, you're implying a separation for one thing. And then how do you reconcile that with the fact that Sehbang, the idea of Ajuni Sehbang, I mean, he's self-created there too. Let me jump to Dr. Ajit Singh. I think you want to say something.
Yeah, let me see if I can reconcile the ideas.
Yeah,
So
so
what
do you see where, do you get the drift of where I'm trying to go?
Yeah, yes. And I think I'm going to come from a very different, from left field to connect with the things. Yes, I would agree. Pass Kavar, that means it one shot, he put all the ingredients for the creation in place. And then it could self-evolve. Huh? So in other words, that is to my mind a reading that evolution can and does occur. Creation has occurred, and beyond that, when the creator does not interfere in it, the system has all the ingredients in it, and it can evolve further as it continues to do so today. And that, to me, reconcile the idea of creation and evolution very effectively.
Right. I think I was also alluding towards the similar thing, that the creativity power is looking after its creation, and it is the evolution, and it is taking it to the next level.
Yeah, I'm just suggesting that it is not distinct from the creator. His creativity is not
No,
distinct from
but
the creator.
these things are built in the ingredients.
They're woven into the
Yeah, the ingredients for evolution are built into the creation.
It's like so.
Can I add something here?
Anji.
My thought is the creative power we are talking about. That is what I call Nam, the Sargan Roop of Akal Purkh. Nirgun Roop is separate, and Sargan Roop is Nam, the creative force, which is doing everything. I think the reference to that in that one too. Nam ke saare sagle jan. So that's what I have been thinking.
Yeah. This gets interesting. So let me reach out to Gurjeet Singh Virji, who's been listening to all of this. Anji, where do you stand on this?
नहीं, it's in continuation. ਅਸੀਂ continuity ਛੱਡੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ. I think word ਭੰਡਾਰ ਆਇਆ ਸੀ, ਭੁਗਤ ਗਿਆਨ ਦਇਆ ਭੰਡਾਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਗੱਲ, ਫਿਰ ਭੰਡਾਰੀ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਆਈ ਹੈ, ਹੁਣ ਫਿਰ ਗੱਲ ਭੰਡਾਰ ਤੇ. I don't know how creation comes in between, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹ illusion ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸਿੰਘ ਦਾ ਪਾਇਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ. ਇਵਨ ਆਂਟੀ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਪੜ੍ਹਿਆ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਆਪੇ ਭੁਗਤਾ, ਇਹ ਜੀਵ ਦੀ ਕਹਾਣੀ ਹੈ ਸਾਰੀ. It's nothing to do with ਪਰਮੇਸ਼ਰ here. ਪਰਮੇਸ਼ਰ ਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰ ਕੀ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ. Done by the jeev. Jeev is independent.
How independent is the
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਦੱਸੋ.
Carry on. I'm hearing you. Actually, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ that jeev is independent.
ਜੀਵ ਤਾਂ
I wanted to go back
ਆਪਣ
to
ਹੱਥੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ,
where we were debating how independent are we really.
ਆਪਣਾ ਮਨ ਚਿੱਤ ਜੋੜਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ
I'm digressing here. Let's
there
finish
is no
this train of thought.
interference. ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਹਾਂ, ਆਪਣ ਹੱਥੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਆਪੇ ਹੀ ਕਾਰ ਸਵਾਰੀ ਹੈ. He has to do his own job. He can be helped.
Yeah, let's.
ਤੇ ਇਹ ਭੰਡਾਰਾ ਵਧਾਵੇ.
Let's finish this first.
ਇਹ ਆਪਣਾ ਭੰਡਾਰਾ ਵਧਾ ਲਵੇ, ਭੰਡਾਰਾ ਘਟਾ ਲਵੇ, ਇਹਦੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਹੈ. He can be helped to build it. There is no advice to tell him ki kata la, but still he do it. ਇਹ ਸੰਸਾਰੀ ਰਹਿ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ, he can stay as ਸੰਸਾਰੀ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਪਰਵਾਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ I'm more than happy, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੋੜ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਰੱਬ ਦੀ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਕੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਪਿੱਛੋਂ ਗੱਲ ਜੋਗੀ ਨਾਲ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਜੋਗੀ's problem is ਜੋਗੀ don't have a ਗ੍ਰੰਥ, ਜੋਗੀ want to increase the ਭੰਡਾਰਾ, ਅਗਲੀ ਪੌੜੀ ਚ ਕਲੀਅਰ ਹੋ ਜਾਏਗਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ। is in continuation, ਉਹ ਨਾਮ ਰੱਟ ਕੇ he is trying to repeat a word, but here the whole theme is that there are ways to increase Pandara, which you can increase. It has been given to you once. ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੈਦਾ ਹੋਏ ਸੀ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਬੁੱਧੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਏ ਆ ਪਿੱਛੋਂ, ਇੱਕ ਸਰ ਕੇ ਨਾਮ ਬਿਨ, ਉਹ ਕੰਟੀਨਿਊਟੀ 'ਚ ਰਹੇਗੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ, ਉਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਖਤਮ ਹੁੰਦੀ। ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਵਧਾ ਲਓ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਯੂ ਸੈਡ ਇਟ ਯੂਰਸੈਲਫ ਐਟ ਵਨਸ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਚਿੰਗਾਰੀ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੋਰ ਵਧਾ ਲਓ ਜਾਂ ਐਕਸਟਿੰਗੁਇਸ਼ ਕਰ ਲਓ। ਯੂ ਆਰ ਇੰਡੀਪੈਂਡੈਂਟ ਔਨ ਦੈਟ। ਬਾਕੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੀਂਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਵਾ ਸਕਦੇ, ਭੁਚਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਲਿਆ ਸਕਦੇ, ਇਹ ਵੱਡਾ ਹੁਕਮ ਹੈ। ਮੈਕਰੋ ਹੁਕਮ ਹੋਰ ਹੈ, ਮਾਈਕਰੋ ਹੁਕਮ ਹੋਰ ਹੈ। ਮਾਈਕਰੋ ਸਬ ਮਾਈਕਰੋ ਤੋਂ ਮਾਈਕਰੋ ਬਣਨ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਭੰਡਾਰੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਹਾਊ ਯੂ ਕੈਨ ਇਨਕਰੀਜ਼ ਯੂਰ ਭੰਡਾਰਾ। ਔਰ ਵੇਖਿਆ ਉਹ ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਬੜੀ ਅੱਛੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਕਿ ਹੀ ਇਜ਼ ਨਾਟ ਇਨਵੋਲਵਡ, ਹੀ ਇਜ਼ ਵਾਚਿੰਗ ਯੂ, he will give you the promotion or demotion ਜਿਵੇਂ ਐਕਸ਼ਨ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ। ਕਰਮੀ ਆਪੋ ਆਪਣੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਉਣਾ ਹੈ, is that is being built from here। ਇੱਥੋਂ ਕਰਮੀ ਆਪੋ ਆਪਣੀ ਦੀ ਐਕਸਪਲੇਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਚੁੱਕੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਨੇੜੇ ਆ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਵਧਾ ਕੇ ਭੰਡਾਰਾ, ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਭੰਡਾਰਾ ਲੂਜ਼ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਸਾਡਾ। ਜਿਹੜਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਭੰਡਾਰ ਹੈ, ਭੰਡਾਰਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਲਿਖਿਆ, ਭੰਡਾਰ ਲਿਖਿਆ। ਕਿਹਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਕੁਝ ਗਿਆਨ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਗਿਆਨ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਪੈਦਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਵਧਾ ਸਕਦਾ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਜੀ। I think Harvinder Singh has a question. ਹਾਂਜੀ Harvinder.
Anji Veerji, I think so. There are two thought process I heard. The first one was saying the asan loy pandhar is basically referring to our inner self, that the everything is inside our self, and then second line is saying jo kuch paya so ekavar, that we get all this knowledge within us when we are kind of born. The other thought process I am hearing is that the first line is that there's a lot of Pandharas in this world, and Vaheguru have put everything in one shot. So if we look at the first point of view that Pandharas are within ourselves, and then all knowledge is given to us at the birth time, so that means that what we are discussing, as I think you're raising the same thing, that we can't change that knowledge, we can't, so we are saying we can increase or decrease. So basically, but how can this correlate with jo kuch paya so ekavar? And on one side we are saying that everything is given at one time, and then we are saying we can increase or decrease it.
It is how we use it. How we use it.
Anji, before so Harvinder, very quickly, I mean, my own sense is it's like in the world of operating systems, it's like loading the operating system once, and once you've loaded the operating system, the applications, which in this case happen to be you and me, can then exploit the operating system and enhance our functionality. That's just an analogy, but let me open this question up to the others. So,
Ravinderji, a question on that. When you're talking about this one, the very first question arises that why there's so much variation then. If the Pandara is given to everybody, what is the criteria, what Pandara I get when I'm born, if that's the way we are interpreting it, and why you have a different Pandara when you were born? Okay,
that's the second question we'll go to, but let's first get everyone's view on what Harvinder has just raised. I just gave him a quick sort of sense of how I view this. Let me ask Dilpreet if he wants to address what Harvinder has raised. Just sort of stay focused on his question.
See, again, I think I agree with your analogy. I think I will let others speak. I think that is what it is, that the formula has been given and we have the freedom to explore the formula and use it. And that's how I see it. I don't see it other way, that we have given the knowledge or explore. I think it is the formula or the framework which has been provided, and we have a freedom to operate in that framework and explore it and use it and get benefit out of it.
Anji. And I think, Doctor, I just think that's what you were trying to say, or was it something else that you were
Something similar. This is exactly what I'm saying. The ingredients are there, and then we have the will and the power to change them.
right? It's
It
how we
all out of
relate
it.
to the underlying system, so to speak.
That's right. Within the limits, of course, what is in the system.
Well, I mean,
We
yeah, I
operate.
mean, so to my analogy, I mean, the operating system sets limits for what the application can do.
That's right.
So,
And therefore, that would be remove the conflict between creation and evolution as well.
So, Anji, Gurjeet Singh Birji, do you want to address Harvinder's question specifically?
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਜੇ ਭੰਡਾਰ ਵਰਡ 3 ਫਾਰਮਸ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮਿਲੇਗਾ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਵਿੱਚ, ਤੇ ਕਿਤੇ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਰਾਸ਼ਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ। ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਰੈਸ਼ਨ ਸੋਚ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਨਾ, ਇਟਸ ਨਾਟ ਫॉर ਰੈਸ਼ਨ। ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਇਹ ਆਂਦਾ ਸਿਹਾਰੀ ਨਾਲ, ਇਟਸ ਵੈਰੀ ਕਲੀਅਰ। ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਾਮ ਤੇਰਾ ਜਨ ਕੈ ਭੰਡਾਰ। ਨਾਮ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੇਰਾ ਵਿਜ਼ਡਮ ਹੈ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਜਨ ਭੰਡਾਰ ਸਮਝਦਾ। ਸੋ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਾ ਲੰਗਰ ਵਰਡ ਮਿਸਯੂਜ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਦਾ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ 'ਚ ਲੰਗਰ ਵਰਡ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਲੰਗਰ ਹੈ, ਅਸੀਂ ਰੋਟੀ ਪਾਣੀ ਨੂੰ ਲੰਗਰ ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗ ਗਏ। ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਜੋਗੀ ਵੀ ਭੰਡਾਰ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਖਾਣ ਪੀਣ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗ ਗਏ ਸੀ, ਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੂੰ ਐਡਰੈਸ ਕਰਨਾ ਪਿਆ ਭੁਗਤ ਗਿਆਨ। ਜਿਹੜੀ ਭੁਗਤੀ ਨੂੰ ਤੂੰ ਰੋਟੀ ਸਮਝਦਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਬਾਹਰਲੇ ਸਰੀਰ ਦੀ, ਇਟ ਸ਼ੁੱਡ ਬੀ ਅ ਰੋਟੀ ਫॉर ਯੂਰ ਇਨਰ ਸਰੀਰ, ਐਂਡ ਦੈਟ ਇਜ਼ ਨਥਿੰਗ ਬਟ ਗਿਆਨ। ਸੋ ਕੋਈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹੋ ਮੈਂ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਪਾ ਵੀ ਦੇਵਾਂਗਾ ਕਿ ਭੰਡਾਰ ਐਕਸਕਲੂਸਿਵਲੀ ਮੀਨਸ ਗਿਆਨ ਭੰਡਾਰ। ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਆਈ ਰਿਜੈਕਟਡ ਦਾ ਭੰਡਾਰੀ ਵਰਡ ਫॉर ਵਿਸ਼ਨੂੰ। ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਪਾਇਆ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਵਿਸ਼ਨੂੰ ਭੰਡਾਰੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ। ਵਿਸ਼ਨੂੰ ਕੋਲ ਤਾਂ ਵਿਸ਼ਨੂੰ ਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਗਿਆਨ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਵਿਸ਼ਨੂੰ ਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਨੇ ਕੱਢਤਾ। ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਿਸ ਸੁਖ ਤੇ ਸ਼ਿਵ ਬ੍ਰਹਮ ਡਰਾਨਾ, ਵਿਸ਼ਨੂੰ ਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਨਾਂ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਉੱਥੇ। ਵਿਸ਼ਨੂੰ ਇਜ਼ ਨੋਟ ਭੰਡਾਰੀ ਐਜ਼ ਪਰ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਡੀਲਸ ਵਿਦ ਯੋਰ ਸਪਿਰਿਟ। ਸਪਿਰਿਟ ਦਾ ਭੰਡਾਰ ਇਹੀ ਹੈ, ਹਰੇਕ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਦੇ ਦਿੱਤਾ। ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਜਪਜੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਐਡਰੈਸਿਸ ਕੁਐਸਚਨਸ ਫਰੋਮ 100 ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਰਿਲੀਜਨਸ ਟੂ। ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਨਾ ਸੋਚੀਏ ਦੇਰ ਆਰ ਸਮ ਥਿੰਗਸ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੋ ਵੱਡਾ ਹੋਏਗਾ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਭੰਡਾਰਾ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਏਗਾ। ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੂੰ ਪੈਦਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ ਭੰਡਾਰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਪੈਦਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ। ਯੂ ਹੈਡ ਸਮ ਵਿਜ਼ਡਮ ਇਨ ਯੂ। ਉਹਨੂੰ ਹੁਣ ਤੂੰ ਰਿਵਾਈਵ ਰੱਖਣਾ ਜਿੱਥੇ, ਜਾਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਇਨਕਰੀਜ਼ ਕਰਨਾ ਜਾਂ ਡਿਕਰੀਜ਼ ਕਰਨਾ, ਇਟ ਡਿਪੈਂਡਸ ਅਪਨ ਯੂ। ਪਰ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਇਨਸੈਂਟਿਵ ਦਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਟ ਕੈਨ ਬੀ ਇਨਕਰੀਜ਼ਡ ਥਰੂ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ।
So, Pauri Singh Virji, does that answer your question?
No, it does not, because the question I raised was if we are talking the wisdom which is instilled when we are born, then why when Gurjeet Singh was born he has a different level of wisdom than me or than you. So what determines the differentiation in the amount of wisdom which is allocated to each person?
Hanji, Gurjeet Singh Virji, do you want to answer that? Is that allocation?
ਹਾਂਜੀ। ਦੇਖੋ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਵਿੱਚ ਵਿਜ਼ਡਮ ਪੈਦਾ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਜਦੋਂ ਮਨ ਔਰ ਚਿੱਤ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ। ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਉਂ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਅਸੀਂ ਭਗਤਾਂ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਿਉਂ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਹਾਂ? ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਮਨ ਹੈ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ। ਸਾਡੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਨ ਦੀ ਵੇਰੀਏਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ। ਮੇਰੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਡਮ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਨਾਲੋਂ ਫਰਕ ਹੋਏਗੀ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਮੇਰਾ ਮਨ ਮਾਇਆ 'ਚ ਫਸਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈ, ਜਿੰਨਾ ਮੇਰਾ ਮਨ ਆਪਣੇ ਮੂਲ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜਿਆ। ਹੀ ਕੈਨ ਗੋ ਈਦਰ ਵੇ। ਮਨ ਦੀ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹਨੇ ਮਨਮੁਖ ਬਣਨਾ, ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਵਰਡ ਮਨਮੁਖ ਹੈ, ਜਾਂ ਇਹਨੇ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਬਣਨਾ, ਇਹਨੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਮੂੰਹ ਕਿੱਧਰ ਨੂੰ ਰੱਖਣਾ।
The question is this: the question that is, I think that Gurjeet is asking is, are we all born with the same allocation?
Correct.
No, we are not. Allocation. We are not born with same allocation. ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ ਧਿਆਨ ਮਾਇਆ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੱਧਦਾ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ, exactly. When you are born, you don't have man. You are talking about that intelligence to develop any further. Okay, the point is at the time of birth, why the allocation is different, and that's the point I'm saying.
Because ਅਸੀਂ ਪਿੱਛੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। We are bringing it from last lives. ਪਿਛਲੀਆਂ ਜਨਮਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਕਈ ਜਨਮ ਭਾਈ ਕੀਟ ਪਤੰਗਾ, ਉੱਥੋਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਡਮ ਇਨਕਰੀਜ਼ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਉਸ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਅੱਗੇ ਇੰਟਰੈਕਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਇਹ ਇੱਕ ਵਿਜ਼ਡਮ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ, ਇੱਕ ਸਰ ਕੇ ਨਾਮ ਵੀ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ 'ਚ, ਅੱਗੇ ਲਈਆਂ ਖੋ। ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹਰਕਾ ਨਾਮ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵਾਪਸ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ, ਉਹੀ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਭੰਡਾਰ ਹੈ। ਉਹਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਨਕਰੀਜ਼ ਕਰਨਾ। ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਵਧਾ ਲਓ, ਮਨਮੁਖਾਂ ਦੀ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ, ਉਹ ਜੋ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਕਰਨ। ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਵਧਾਉਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਭੰਡਾਰ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹੋ ਆਈ ਕੈਨ ਗਿਵ ਯੂ 10 ਸ਼ਬਦ। ਭੰਡਾਰ ਹੈ ਕੀ? ਜਨ ਤੇਰਾ ਨਾਮ ਤੇਰਾ ਜਨ ਕੈ ਭੰਡਾਰ। ਇਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹ ਸਪਿਰਿਚੁਅਲ ਵਿਜ਼ਡਮ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਭੰਡਾਰਾ ਵਰਡ ਆਉਂਦਾ, ਭੰਡਾਰੀ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਆਉਂਦਾ, ਤੇ ਭੰਡਾਰੀ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਤਾਂ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਸਗਲੇ ਜਾਚੈ ਗੁਰ ਭੰਡਾਰੀ। ਗੁਰ ਕਿਉਂ ਭੰਡਾਰੀ? ਗੁਰ ਕੋਲ ਪੂਰਾ ਗਿਆਨ ਹੈ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਵੀਰ ਜੀ, thanks. I think this gets interesting. So JC Pichon, so let me ask Dr. Ajay Singh what he thinks about Pichon si leke aaye, and that accounts for the variation in the level of our allocation when we are born. What do you think of that?
That caught my attention, and I have to say that I don't have an answer because I don't go into the Chauransi lakh jungle. But we are, each of us, born with a different DNA and different genes and different possibilities.
Right.
Possibility to be an Einstein was not in me. The possibility to be what I do, probably Einstein couldn't have done either. So we are all in many ways unique. We are all in many ways unique. Some things are better in each of us. Something that we don't even identify very well. That's what I would celebrate. The variety. The variety, endless variety that we produce.
Okay. Let me reach out to Jasbir Kaur Penji. Jasbir Kaur ji, you've been hearing the discussion, so what's your thought on, do we start with the same allocation, or do we bring it from our past Janmaton Kahi Janam by Keet Patanga? And as Ajay Singh is saying, we all have unique possibilities.
I was thinking like this, Guru Pasha is talking asan for the Ram inside us. About that, Guru Pasha कहते हैं सबे कट राम बोले, तो जो राम inside us है वो बोलता है, but जदों मन उन्हें सुनता है.
Can you switch to English, please?
Yeah, like Guru Pasha says, सबे कट राम बोले. Ram bole means Ram speaks. Where he speaks inside us, inside our antar atma, inside of the spirit level. But this
you're cutting off. You're cutting off a little.
I mean, when Ram speaks, that Ramya Ram, that omnipresence God speaks, but who is listening? So that depends upon the listener. Who here?
No, we are trying to answer the question: are we all born with an equal bandara or not?
Trying
to. So just try to frame your answer around that.
Ram means that Antaratma, which was Paramatma, that Almighty God which is present in our Antaratma.
So does that mean we are all born with the same allocation of that pandara?
Yes.
No.
Are we all starting equal at the start line? I mean, are we all at the same starting line, or is the starting line different for each one of us? That's what Paramjit Singh's question is.
Yes.
Guru Pasha
so that's what we are trying to ascertain here. There's a question out there, which Gurjeet Singh Ji responded to, I think, very well. But that's one perspective. Is there another perspective?
As we are talking about the Jyot, so according to Jyot, I am talking that Sab mein Jyot hai soe, Sagal banaspat mein besantar, Sagal doodh mein kiya, Unch neech mein Jyot samani, kat madho chiya. So Guru Pasha is talking about the Jyot is saman, equal. But that intellect different is according to our communication with that man and chit, which Gurjeet Ji was talking, that chit and man da union hona hai. So that intellect is depending upon our that union and
so would it be fair to say then that certain things are fixed and there are some variables that you control, and it is a combination of what is fixed and what is variable that determines the outcome? I mean, that's how I would explain it in very simple lingo for today.
Yes.
So the variable piece is what you control. There is a fixed piece that is given to you.
Yes.
Okay. Haji Paramjit Singh ji, does that...
Yeah, no, it does not, because now we are just talking about everything at birth. Now you're talking the variables which come later in life when you develop over time. The question, when you're born, when you're born, even IJG is saying that there's variation in genetic code. My question to him is, what determines those variations? Is it random phenomena?
My friend,
Okay, is it random phenomena, or is it, then if the random phenomenon, the God doesn't come into play, then why we are talking about Karkaraveki or Sirjanhar? So either we should take him out if it's totally random. So my question is not answered yet, because that is what is the dilemma for me. And I seem to, okay, I will stop here.
Hanji, ठीक है जी, Hanji, Dr. IJ Singh.
The question will last forever. However,
yeah.
the variation doesn't start after birth. The variation, I could say, starts from day one of gestation, and before that too. The individuals that came, the mother and father, they presented variations too. So the variations that you're born with are inherent in what you have acquired, what you have inherited. Variation starts from that.
Yeah, I think this goes back.
It's not that you start from the same starting line, and we have the same potential to run the same speed, and something happens beyond that.
Let me respond to that.
So hang on a second, Paramjit Singh ji. I think I want to take you back to what Dilpreet said when we opened this discussion, that creation happened in an instant, or at least once, and then it's set in motion a process that includes some of this randomness in it. It seems to me. Hanji, ask your question.
That's right.
Yes, can I?
Haji.
Well, I like IJ Singh's Dr. Saab's answer, because he has medical background as well. The question I would ask, yes, variations occur because of genetic variations, father and mother. The question is, why I have to pay for the variation in my parents' genetic code? I'm a soul here. Okay, why I am paying for the variations for their faults, if they're drinking drugs and all that. I'm innocent party standing here.
Let me put it a little bit differently. I could say the purpose, perhaps, of the creator, if you're looking into the mind of the creator, wouldn't that be interesting? The purpose is to create a universe where there's plenty of variation in individuals. They're not all stamped out the same cookie cutter. Now, there's plenty of variation, you call it random variation. The causes, some genetic, some environmental. And what that does is makes each individual, each segment of the creation, somewhat unique. Now, the Earth as we see today may not be constructed so, our societal system may not be constructed so that it can take advantage of the uniqueness of each one of us. And that's true. That is what we have created. That the Creator didn't create. The Creator has created each of us as an individual, unique individual, with the abilities that perhaps society cannot use effectively. And that's what it looks like if somebody has succeeded so fantastically. The others must be failures. They didn't make $1 billion or whatever.
In any event, I think this is a question that is quite perennial. It sort of always surfaces up. Harvinder, I'm going to call on you. Do you have any take on this? Do you have a question?
Hanji, I think I'm still trying to connect all the dots as usual, and then so I think the one thing we have to see that the fourth line is also very important. Nanak Sachi Ki Sachi Kar. That irrespective of, we are not able to, I think, can answer this question. I think the basic thing is that we are all born, if we assume the same knowledge, then our surroundings and how we grow up, and either we attach to Maya or go to Nam, so we will increase or decrease the knowledge. So I think that point we are getting clear on. The basic question was, do everyone have equal opportunity? Do everyone given the same knowledge in the beginning, and only then with their activities they can increase or decrease, or they are born with some less or more knowledge that helps them, or like other side push them down? Then I think the fourth line is very important, Nanak Sachi Ki Sachi Ka, that we have to trust that everything is truth, that whatever is happened, or whatever how they were born, that it is Sachikar. So there's no doubt about that. So I think the only confusion I can see, like from as Paramjit Virji sees, that if we are saying that everyone is born with the same knowledge, then only our surroundings makes a difference. But then Gurjeet Virji said that that is not true. Then we had something from our past that controls in which house we are born, which environment we get. That now makes things little tricky.
Hanji Virji, can I say something?
Hanji, please.
See, again, continuing on my thought on this creativity which is existing here. So let's see that we are different. Again, as Dr. IJ Singh said, that we are different, we have a different DNA, or we have a different signature. Now we have to see, Dr. Jaswant Singh also pointed one day on this call, that from where is that different signature coming? So that different signature is coming, or we are inheriting that different signature from our parents and forefathers. And they have inherited that from their parents, because they look like, we are getting the height, we are getting the color, we are getting lot of other things inherited. And now the 65% of this, I heard somewhere that it is fixed. So 35% is the flexibility. That is what science is also saying. Now this, in 35% of this flexibility, again, that is influenced by our parents as we are growing up. They give us a different type of environment, and they are manipulating our thinking. So a kid who is born in a Jew family, he gets different principles, a Muslim gets a different principle, so they are trying to influence that. And then there is only a 10 to 15% window is there where we can self explore, or we can learn, or we can pop out of it. But that is also governed and controlled, and it depends on the circumstances in which we are brought in. Because now then we cannot see, it has been, whatever is a magic, right? For whatever we don't know the answer, we will blame it, we will say it is done by God, so that we cannot take the blame. I am existing in this world, or I have been brought into this world by my parents, and when they are not able to own up to that responsibility, they will say that God brought you, and then all that the blame goes to God. So who brought me in has to own up to these responsibilities. And then I will end with an example. There was a recent research done that when Hitler was killing the Jews, there were some people who saved them. Then they started to do that research on them, that what was different in those people. Were they those religious guys? No, they found that they were not religious. What? Those were the kids who were brought up in a family where they were allowed to ask questions, and they learned things by questioning. So whatever they learned by questioning, that was close to their heart, and then they implemented that. So that is the thing, the upbringing and those other things. If we provide that kind of environment, then somebody can excel, and then he can go and do the better results.
So Dilpreet, what you're saying is a lot of this is environmental, basically.
I just want to respond to that.
Yeah, all right. So let me just suggest that we have 5 minutes left. Let me make the last round, and feel free to respond to Dilpreet or close with any closing remarks that you want. Anji Paramjit Singh Vedi.
Anji, let's. I think why I like here, because people are very intelligent here. They can have penetrating thinking, and that's why I enjoy this conversation. The point we are talking about, we are not talking about what happens later on in life, we are talking about birth. That was the first point we have to keep in mind. My question back to you, tell me a person who is born in England in the house of the Queen's house, and a person who is born on the side of the road. What is that? What soul? What is the responsibility of a soul which goes at one place, other goes here? What is his or her fault here? He is just being born here, no responsibility, nothing, but he is born on the side of the road and here in the palace. That's one point I just want to make, and that let's forget about what happens afterwards. 70% is genetic. What I don't care about that. Talking about at birth, from where the disparities are coming, if the parents are different, that's their responsibility. Why it's my fault of my children to pay for that disparity. So what I have done, and that's the point I'm trying to get.
Hanji, Gurjeet Singh Veer ji, coming to you for your last closing remarks. You've heard Paramjit Singh Veer ji.
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਵੀਰ ਜੀ, ਆਪਣੇ ਕੋਲ ਨਾ ਦੋ ਬਾਡੀਜ਼ ਹੈ, ਅਸੀਂ ਦੋਹਾਂ ਚ ਮਿਕਸ ਹੋਈ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਜੈਨੇਟਿਕ ਜੋ ਗੱਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਬਾਹਰਲੀ ਬਾਡੀ ਦੀ ਹੈ, ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਅੰਦਰਲੀ ਬਾਡੀ ਦੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਪੜ੍ਹ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਦੋ ਪੰਕਤੀਆਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ। ਆਈ ਵਿਲ ਗੈਟ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਸਾਚੇ ਇੱਕ ਖੇਲ ਰਚਾਇਆ, ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਜਿਹਾ ਉਪਾਇਆ। ਅਸੀਂ ਸਪਿਰਿਚੁਅਲ ਲੈਵਲ ਤੇ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਹੈ। ਅੱਗੇ ਫਿਰ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ, ਅੱਗੇ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੜ੍ਹੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ, ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੈਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿ ਸ਼ਿਵ ਸ਼ਕਤੀ ਦੇਹੀ ਮੈਂ ਪਾਏ। ਇਹਦੇ ਦੇਹੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੋ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ, ਇੱਕ ਸ਼ਿਵ ਹੈ ਸਾਡਾ ਮੂਲ ਹੈ, ਇੱਕ ਉਹਦੀ ਸ਼ਕਤੀ ਹੈ, ਬੁੱਧੀ ਹੈ। ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦੀ ਉਲਟੀ ਹੋਵੇ, ਗਿਆਨ ਰਤਨ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਤਾਹਾ ਹੈ। ਜੇ ਬੁੱਧੀ ਮਾਇਆ ਤੋਂ ਉਲਟ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਗਿਆਨ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ, ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਸਕਸੈਸਫੁਲ ਹੈ। ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਦੋ ਬਾਡੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਕਸ ਨਾ ਕਰੀਏ ਪਲੀਜ਼। ਆਪਾਂ ਅੰਦਰਲਾ ਬੋਡੀ ਦਾ ਹੀ ਉਪਦੇਸ਼ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ, ਅੰਦਰਲੀ ਤੇ ਰਹੀਏ। ਸਾਇੰਸ ਜੋ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਕਰ ਲਵੇ, ਸਾਇੰਸ ਆਦ ਸੱਚ ਨੂੰ ਬਿਲੀਵ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੀ। ਸ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਟੀ ਤੋਂ ਸਾਇੰਸ ਵਿਲ ਨੈਵਰ ਬਿਲੀਵ ਦੈਟ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਜੀ।
ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਆਦ ਸੱਚ ਤੋਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ।
Hanji, thank you very much. Hanji, Dr. Ajay Singh, any last comments?
A couple of things here. You see, it's not
can you
just
speak up
starting from. I'll try. I think my system is probably.
You're better now. You're better now.
Okay. It is not that we are starting from zero. It's not like a race where everybody's going to start from the same starting line. The starting line did not start today with your birth. The starting line must have started when the creation occurred. That's why I said it puts you with evolution as well. So you are a product, or I am a product of several thousands and thousands and thousands of generations and years. Okay? It's not that what's fault is mine, it's not a matter of fault. So I'm a product of that many generations, and that's why science tells you that the DNA of every individual is unique. If DNA is unique, that every individual is unique about his capabilities as well, and about his faults as well. He's unique in that. And there is a very complex interaction between what is genetic and what is environmental. Most of the things we inherit, or we think we inherit or do or whatever, are not purely genetic. Some are purely genetic, about maybe 10%, or about 10% is purely environmental, the rest 60 to 80%. Is really a complex interaction between the two. And when I say environment, it's not just the environment we live in today, it's the environment which was in utero as well. It's the and what you have inherited over many generations that your DNA has been done. So that's what makes us unique, individually unique. Therefore, in any measure, one measure, some are better than others.
Hanji. Thank you, Ji. Jasbir Kaur Penji, any last thoughts?
Hanji, the same as Gurjeet Veer was saying that we are mixing both the bodies. But
the question does not go away though.
No, but when we are talking about spiritual level, then Guru Pasha says, Bij mantra sarab ko gyan, cho varna mein jape ko naam. In that stanza, Guru Pasha says, Pasu pred mugad pathar ko tare. So this gyan, that this is governed and controlled, how much the man churns and dwell inside. This is internal intelligence. And this is not that intellect which we are talking about, outer study and barley
Yeah, but
vidya.
that's not what Paramjit Singh Virji is asking either. That's not his question. But anyway, Sadhgul, time nahi. I appreciate your comments. Harvinder Singh, do you want to say anything? 10 baj dene.
I think we are good. I think I like the last few comments that we want to make sure we focus on the inner side, because outside genetically we can be different, but inner side also I think we need to take it as on the blog. But I think the Paramjit Singh Virji question is still very valid, that if we are born in a family with like with a same knowledge, then our environment will play the role. But if you're born differently, as Gurjit Viji said, then it is a very difficult process. But I think we can continue this on the blog now.
Okay. So with that said, we are running out of time. Another very interesting discussion, needless to say. But I also feel that sometimes many questions remain unanswered, and silence is perhaps the best recourse many a times. However, as Harvinder has suggested, we can continue to blog this, and this question does come back, like a lot of other questions. With that said, ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਫਤਿਹ ਹੈ ਜੀ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।